Okay.
Hi guys, well we're back, and as you can see we're in normal gym attire, and today we're going to be working and utilizing some of the blocks that you just got through working on in motion. Well, one of the first things we have to do before we start actually doing that is learning what our feet are supposed to do. Feet are funny things. Often, especially when we're learning to walk, I want you to realize that walking is a controlled fall. Okay, you learn as a child how to control that fall because you're going after whatever it is you're going to get, and you get better and better at it, and your brain gets better and better at it, and we're bipedal. The problem with that is we often, in a controlled fall, you're catching yourself, and when you catch yourself, you put all your weight on one leg, and in doing so, someone who's trying to knock us off balance has got an advantage. And so one of the ways that we avoid that is executing what we call a crescent or a C step. Okay. When I'm stepping back, if I simply step straight back, this is what often happens. I plant my weight, I'm trying to do something, maybe block, okay? My body ends up kitty corner, my knee is still straight, this knee is straight, so basically what I'm saying is I'm saying, here's my entire center line, you hit me, okay? The crescent step brings your body in, and now even if he's on you and pushing you, when I step back, I'm bringing it past, and then back out, and then I'm unwinding on the balls of my feet, not my heels, but the balls of my feet. And I end up with my torso turned, and my feet in such a position that my toes are in line with my heel. I'm going to put my feet on this little star looking thing on the floor, okay? And later you're going to understand this is really some of the basis of Kempo, the angles of attack, okay? So this first straight line, running from 6 to 12, and you can hear me talk about that a lot, the clock system. 12 o'clock is always to your front, okay? And you are always generally going to be right here in the middle at this, where the dials would connect. So in a toe-heel situation, utilizing that straight line, my heel would be on this side of the line, my toe would be on this side of the line, and I would end up being about shoulder width and a half with my feet apart. This allows me to turn my torso, if I need to, completely 6 to 12. Okay, or I can keep it a little cocked this way. In blocking and such, I want to get my torso out of the way. So this way, it allows me to pivot on the back foot and utilize my weapons with power. If I pull this foot back so that we're both here like I'm on a balance beam, the minute I try and throw power, notice that my balance goes that way. Because I'm trying to get the power here, but in doing so, the way gravity and centrifugal force work is it's throwing my body this way. Even if I'm pivoting, in fact, the more I pivot, if my feet are square, the more I'm going to fall. And the same, of course, occurs if I pull my foot all the way back here. Now I can't even come over this far to hit. My hit stops here, which means if I'm trying to protect myself, none of that works. So this toe heel position is where I want to be. So what happens is I come in, it makes this little C step, and I pivot my body. In and back out. In and pivot my body. Now, of course, in doing so, I want my hands where? Not down here. Okay? I want them up here. I like to put my triceps on my chest. My hands in front of my face. Not here, not in front of my shoulders. Right here in my face. So if I leave my hands here and I execute my crescent step, my hands turn into what we call a ready or a fighting stance. Okay? Without me having to move my hands or arms. Okay? My hands stay here, back to a horse stance. Here, back to a fighting stance. Here, here. Okay? So when I start to utilize my blocks, my foot comes in, my hand comes up, and as my foot steps and I turn, my block comes across. I'm going to do that again. Hand, boom. Hand, hand. So you notice that I'm not throwing my arm. It's actually my body that's helping. Now I'm going to use the arm to help. I like to use my elbow and I'll pop. So that when I plant and turn my hip, whatever's coming at me just misses. I don't want to swing and knock it all the way over there, because if I do so, I've opened up this side of my body. I never want to give my opponent a turn. We talked about this in class. Okay? They don't get a turn. The whole idea here is it's always your turn. I come back to center. So I'm here. I step back, execute my first inward block. Now here's my second one. I'm going to step in, and notice that when I do so, I drop my weight as this foot comes in. This way, if I get pushed or hit, and I stumble back into a fighting stance. If I straighten my leg, I'm going to end up being knocked on my can. So I need to make sure that I bring my body weight in, settle, and unwind. And when I do so, my hands, of course, because they're on my chest, rotate right into a fighting stance. So I'm going to do this again. From here, without any blocks, I'm just going to step, tap, and turn, step, pivot, and turn. So utilizing the blocks in this motion, I would be 1, 2. One more time. 1, 2. So there's your first block. That's your inward block getting in motion. When we start working on the next section here, which is the form, first form we learned in this particular set of martial arts training, we're going to call it short one Kata. And Kata simply means a form. And in this form, you're going to be practicing your 4 blocks, stepping with the 4 blocks in 4 different directions. So it's going to train you how to step, when to step, with what foot to step, okay? And at the same time, you're kind of learning both a mental exercise and a physical exercise, and your body and your brain are saying, okay, we got to put this together. So it looks like this. I'm going to start off with a salutation, and we're going to execute just a short salutation, not the long fancy ones that we came up with. So it'll just be Kata, short one, and you'll bow. Okay, you'll step off to your left into a horse stance. Now in a minute I'll do this mirror imaging, but for the moment I'm just going to do it standard. So from here I'm going to step back, inward block, step back, inward block. You notice again, toe heel the whole time. My next opponent is coming from my 9 o'clock. So I got to look at him. Notice when I look at him, I got to turn my body. And in turning my body helps me bring this foot up. Which foot moved? My back foot. That's the one that's going to help you change direction, never your front. And now I'm going to step away from him, and as I do so, like we practiced in that first drill, the other hand comes to protect my face, and as I step back away from him, I'm outward blocking. Now I'm stepping back again. Here I'm protecting my face with this other hand, and as I step back and unwind, I'm knocking this hand, scooping it out of the way. My next attacker is coming from my 3 o'clock, so I got to look at him. When I look at him, I bring the hand with me to help protect my face, and my back foot comes up. Okay, in this particular case, it's coming up because I got to kind of get my body turned and get out of the way. So now when I step back, I'm knocking it away from my body. Same thing here. I'm going to step back again. And as I step back, this hand is coming here. My foot is coming in. It steps out. And as I unwind with the balls of my feet, I execute an upper block. The last block is coming from my 6 o'clock. So I got to look at 6, and what am I doing? My body turns. And again, because I'm looking that way, my back foot will come up with me. And as I do so, this hand comes to my shoulder. My left hand comes to my groin. And I step back away from him as I downward block. My right hand protects my groin as I step. My left hand comes to my shoulder. I unwind, downward block. I look to 12 o'clock. This is where I started from. Come back in, into my horse stance. My hands come up. I execute my bow. I step, and I clear. And all that is, all the little pieces of flourishes, okay, have meaning. And we'll get to that somewhere down the road. But for now, I'm going to execute this Kata mirror imaging. It would be Kata, short one, okay? So I'm going to go the opposite way. So when I'm here, I'm going to utilize my first block, 1, 2, head transfer, 1, 2, head transfer, 1, 2, head transfer, 1, 2, head transfer, bring around, back in, okay, again, so that's, from my standpoint, backwards, okay, but that way you get to see it from both sides. Now I'm going to execute it facing the opposite direction, so you can see it coming back. So Kata, this is pretty much the way you should probably be learning it first. Okay, so now you can step back with the same foot I do. Left foot, right foot. Okay, now I look over here, and as I bring my right foot up, my right hand comes up, I step away from him and I outer block. I protect, outer block. I look left. Right hand, right foot. Left hand, right foot. Okay? Stepping back. Boom. Last one. Boom. 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 Around. Boom. 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 Execute. So that is short one kata. The crescent step is an integral part of the form, but it's also going to be an integral part of everything that we do as we move forward. So it's something I want you to even practice. You can sit here at the kitchen counter and do these little C's. And then step back with it. And step forward with it. Okay, step back with it. Step forward with it. Notice that every time I do so, my body shifts. So I'm not stepping here with my body facing forward and back. My body always turns sideways. Always turns sideways. Always turns sideways. That whole idea is keeping your body sideways or thinning your body is going to be very important as we move into actual techniques, moving into your yellow belt series. So for now, thanks for being with us. We'll catch you next time.